Hey all, so I wanted to just make this video really quickly for you. I was actually guided for a couple days now. This deck has been calling me. It's the Season of the Witch Yule Oracle. And this reading, I did a reading, it was just for me. Because that's what I assumed it was about. And I think... Oh, of course, you're not going to work now for me. And I think I was correct in that. However, I did get this card, and as I was reviewing it, I had to share it because this is quintessential Mercury Retrograde right here. This is what Mercury Retrograde is all about. And since we are still in Mercury Retrograde for, I don't know, a few more days, another week, I mean, we still have to get through the shadow period, which is like, what, another 2 weeks? So we're still in it for a while. So while we're here, I just wanted to share this card because I was like, oh my God, if that's not Mercury Retrograde, I don't know what. So this card is Contemplation, and down here it says, it breathes in the stillness of all that is, exhaling all that isn't, coming from the end of the starts and the highest of the lows. Here I gasp for the answers to unfold. Things naturally slow down during the cold months, making winter a prime season for contemplation. When days are short, nights are freezing, and the outdoor options are limited, there's often little else to do but think about your life. It's natural to examine how your life measures up to your idea of success, and reflection is a critical component to any successful path. There are times for planning and times for action, but reviewing your progress is how you learn and change course when necessary. You're being guided to reflect on your situation. Are there things you could have done differently? Is there still time to change your situation for the better or salvage anything after the damage? Knowing where you can improve will help you to be better prepared should you find yourself in this situation again. Contemplation can also be a boost to your self-worth. How did you succeed in this situation? Are there any things you can pat yourself on the back about? Acknowledge your shortcomings by making a plan to do better next time, and celebrate your wins because you deserve to. Now, there might be other oracle cards in the world that encapsulate the energy of Mercury Retrograde, but I feel like this is so good right here because this is what I would, always advise. First of all, if you notice, nothing in there mentioned contacting another person, reaching out to your ex, or, looking to answers from anyone else, from any other source. This is all internal. And certainly, that would often be my best advice, is that you should use Mercury Retrograde as an internal process. You don't need anybody's closure, their lies, their excuses, their influence, whatever. You don't need any of that. Just look at, and you can look at their behavior and your own. Look at someone's behavior. That tells you all you need to know. Calculate it out. Look at their patterns. Analyze it. I know not everyone's mind works the same. Mine's very analytical that way. I should have been a profiler, honestly. So there's that. You can look at, what do I know to be true? And the reason you do this, during Mercury Retrograde, or anytime you feel like it's safe, like you're stronger, like you're able to go back to that place with whatever situation this might be about. It doesn't even have to be an emotional one or a relationship at all. Just a time of reflection upon certain situations that maybe didn't make sense to you, or that maybe were frustrating, or maybe where you didn't do the right thing. And you can reflect back on that and pick it apart a little bit from a place of objectivity. And that's basically what Mercury retrograde challenges you to do. And I don't know where everybody's at. I hope you're making it through. For me, it's mostly just a time of frustration because I'm mostly a water sign, but I also have a lot of fire. I'm basically water and fire. So my fire often takes the lead and wants to go, go, go. Especially when the sun's out, the temperatures are getting hot, and everything's coming to life. Like, I want to go. So Mercury retrograde can be very frustrating because it just puts all these obstacles in your way, right? It just slows everything down, the processing, the thinking, the speaking, the communication, all the glitches and the problems. So one option is to take that time and look back on other things that you can still learn from. And I think that's the key right there. What can you learn? And then what can you take from that? And definitely, like, it's not just like looking at the errors or looking at the problems or, being critical and trying to fix things or realizing how you can fix them in the future if you are in that situation. It's also looking at what you did right. And once again, maybe it's just me, but for me, I get a lot of self-satisfaction out of that, a lot of self-esteem that I build off of that and compound off of that. And it reinforces that in the future too, right? Like, so if I'm in a situation, I'm sorry if you hear, like, it sounds like a tornado or an avalanche in the background. That's just my daughter taking a shower. All 120 pounds of her somehow sounds like the bathroom's being demolished. So anyway, I get a lot of gratification and things like that I can take forward into the future and remember later, and then put to practice later too. Like I said, I'm only speaking for myself, I guess, but when you do have that sort of natural inclination, that habit built into you to do the right thing and to make sure you walk away from a situation where things are in balance on your end, where there's no negative karma on your end, right? You did your part. You showed up honestly. You did the right things. I think that's the goal, I guess is what I'm saying, is to work through these retrograde times, correct your mistakes, do better next time, and eventually you're going to be able to walk away from so many situations being like, man, I showed up, I did the right thing, I'm walking away with integrity if I have to, and everything else is on the other person. You feel me? All right, so I just wanted to share that. We're almost out of it. So anybody struggling, it's almost over. It'll be all good soon. I will see you next time.